Just taking a look at the Bundesliga table after that win for Dortmund, and they are top ahead of Union Berlin and Freiburg to play their games on Sunday. But right now, you can see how things are. Very unpredictable are things in the Bundesliga as it stands, but Borussia Dortmund bouncing back to winning ways with that 1-0 win over Schalke. And a big win it was, Jan. Want to talk about that, but just a quick word as well on how sad it was to see Marco Reus going down in this game.
Very sad. They've been one of my favourite players and a lot of people's favourite player. And he's always been unlucky. He missed that World Cup when they won the World Cup. He would have had a World Cup medal. Have had so many injuries. And now he was back to his form after last season. Him and Hummels came back in a challenging position, and he's been brilliant for them. And then this happening again. So the latest news is the ankle ligaments, and they are optimistic. They are carefully optimistic, but you just get a feeling that I turn around. I can't see that. I mean, I think it's terrible to see those kind of things because you just feel that this could be 2 months out, and then he will miss this part of the season.
Massive win, though, meanwhile, for Borussia Dortmund, and great to see that goal from Moukoko as well.
Yes, it was a brilliant taking goal. I think I read somewhere there was a youngest scorer ever did that in a Revier derby, and there've been some unbelievable talented player who's played in those games. But the Dortmund, I think the only bad news for Dortmund is these days is that they are not further away from Bayern, because Bayern are 3 points behind, and I guess that is nothing, but in 2 games down the road, they're playing Dortmund. They're playing Bayern at home, so then they have the chance to do that. Dortmund have lost 6 points. They lost 3 against Leipzig. They were played off the pitch. And then they had that game against Werder Bremen when they were 2-0 up in the 87th minute. So they could have at least been 6 points ahead of them. But I think for Terzic as well, being a Dortmund fan that he is and winning this derby, this is the best feeling you can have, both as a coach, as a player, and a football fan.
And what a way when you've just had 2 back-to-back losses, Stevie. Just before the international break, you get to go into it on a victory.
Yeah, I mean, after you've played any game and got a win, it's great because it just takes the air out of the balloon, because there's always pressure. But to win a game, to be sitting at the top of the league, and now he'll probably have some time off to sit and have a glass of wine or a beer, depending on what his tipple is, and enjoy being sitting on top of the Bundesliga.
Jan,
okay.
I want to talk to you about that top of the Bundesliga, though, and what you were saying about how it is a shame that Dortmund aren't further ahead of Bayern at this stage, given the fact that the chances have been there for them. It's been such an unpredictable season from a few teams so far. Can they challenge Bayern, Dortmund specifically, this season?
Yeah, if anyone, they should. But we should notice that tomorrow is Freiburg and Union Berlin can get 5 points away from them, which is a small club, and they could be 5 points ahead of Bayern Munich after 7 games. But it got to be Dortmund. They got to have that feeling of using that home advantage, use that fantastic yellow wall and that atmosphere at home. I think it is, for Dortmund, it's all down to the culture. If they can get that winning DNA going, because that is the problem that I think that is with Bayern, because you always get that feeling that Bayern will come back. Even if there is 1 game to go and they're 4 points, you just feel like they will find a way, because they just have that culture that Dortmund doesn't have. But they've got some good signings in now. Özçak, if I say that right, the name, Schlotterbeck, Süle. They've got some good type of players in now. So hopefully Reus can come back. And then you have to get Moukoko, the 7th-year-old, a big praise, because if he can come on and score goals like that, that will always be massive for them, because obviously they will lose some striker as well, and they will lose some goals. But so to Dortmund, it's only down to the culture of the club that they believe that it's possible to challenge Bayern.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.